Welcome everyone to another episode of the LanceScurv Show. Today is a very special day for me because I have the day off. But when don't I have the day off? Even when I'm working, I have the day off in my head. I'm just going to take it a little more easier today. Everything is rolling good with my personal plans that I can't reveal right now. And I'm where I want to be, and I'm very happy. But earlier today it hit me. I got up and did a few chores. I made a few runs outside the house. And today is one of those days where fatigue hit me out of nowhere, like a bill that you've run up and forgot about. And that happens sometime, right? It's like you can go push yourself and push yourself and push yourself. And I'm not pushed like that. This is old fatigue from months back because currently I'm rested. But when you get to a certain level of calm and peace and relaxation, here comes an old bill from when you dogged yourself out like 9 and 10 months ago. So that's what hit me today. So I've decided to give into it, and I'm not going to do 50 videos today. I'm just going to do 10. But I hope this video reaches you in the best of health, the best of prosperity, the best of positivity in your mind. I hope this video reaches you where you're in a state where you have control over your mind. That is very important, because in this game called life, which is a very serious thing and not a game, you have to have control of your mind at all times, because the mental games that come to you from other people, the hopelessness that you see in other people, and the doubt that people try to throw in your mind to throw off your plans, it can be difficult if you don't have control of your mind. And I have control of my mind. I've never lost control of my mind. And this is why, with all the wasted attempts from the people who are naysayers and don't want to see you get to where you have to go, have not affected me. So basically, I have to say you've wasted your time. I'm where I want to be, and I've got there already. You'll soon see the manifestation of that. But aside from the mental games and aside from all that we have, I'm not going to say against us, because I don't have a victim mentality. This is one thing, even in the fight, when you are technically on paper a victim, and you have the right to say that you're a victim, you don't really want to say that you're a victim. You understand? You don't really want to absorb that, because anybody who victimizes me is going to be victimized right back by me. All right? I don't care if it's a person. I don't care if it's a system. I don't care if it's a hierarchy. If you try to punch me in the face, I'm going to punch you in the face twice as hard. And that's the way it's going to go, right? So anybody who tries to victimize me or make me feel that way, we're going to be in the same boat. Because if you think you'll make me a victim, you're going to be hurting too. So this is why when I approach a fight, a physical fight when I was younger, which I didn't have as many, because you have a couple of notable wins in the street and people say, I'm not going to mess with him. But the thing is, you let somebody know, hey, listen, you do this, you start this, I'm going to finish it. You might win. I'm still going to walk away with my manhood. You might win according to the other people, but I'm going to go out on my shield. You might win, but you're not going to look like a winner. You're going to be hurting when you go home that night. So if you want to do this, let's do this. But I do know that I'm going to win. But if there's a small chance that I don't, you're going to be scarred up, scratched up, punched in. You might not be able to see. Because I'm not going to play fair. There is no Marcus of Queensberry rules in the street, and there's no Marcus of Queensberry rules in life. I go hard. Fair is where there are no rules involved, because in this world, you have to understand these so-called laws and rules and different things that are put out here for you to maneuver through. And I'm a moral person, but I'm only moral with a person who is moral. I'm not going to sit here and I'm this and restricted by religion and restricted by, no. You want to have a dog fight, you want to get nasty and dirty, I will do what I have to do, and I'm not going to not enjoy my meal that night. I'm not going to not enjoy a good night's sleep that night. Don't count on me to be so humane that you coming after me a certain way and I don't get you. And when I get you, I'm going to make sure that for years to come, if not for the rest of your life, you're going to think about me when you see those wounds, mental, physical, and spiritual. You see what I mean? So if you come at me, I'm going to snatch your soul. You can break an arm and the arm, comes back, but I'm going to put something in your head so hard, so tough, so messed up. It's just going to, they're going to say, little Johnny went after Lance. I don't mean no kid now, but John went after Lance and he tried to be tough with him. And after that fight, he was never the same. And I might have lost that fight. But you're going to walk around never the same. All right, so we have to have that warrior mentality. We've got to bring back that aggression. Men, we've got to bring that back. You're not going to see warriors come out of a church because the church is there to emasculate you. See, you got to have that edge. You got to have, may I say it, and I don't mean you have to be some roughneck or some wannabe trying to act tough, but you have to have an edge about you where when your enemy sees you, they're going to say, no, not that one. No, not him. And that's what Brother Quaker was speaking to me about the other day. And I borrowed those words from him. You see what I mean? So it's always going to be those things where people are sizing you up. So the bottom line is like, let them size you up and let them know. Because that's the way it is in the animal kingdom. Certain animals stay away from other animals. That's why they have order. They know, I saw my brother, my cousin, my fellow animal species type get thrashed by that particular type. Let me stay over here. Let me get away from them. So I don't walk around in the battle mode per se where I'm looking mean and ready to look to be aggressive to anybody. I can push that button or it can click within inside of me and I can be having the nicest down to earth, nicest, most spiritual conversation with lots of depth and then turn around and become a straight killer. And I don't mean killer like I'm looking to kill nobody, but you know what I mean? You have to have that inside of you. You have to have no humanity for your enemies. Whether it's a deal financially, whether it's some type of negotiation, whether you have to speak to somebody man to man or whatever situation it is, you have to be, and you have to be prepared to go out on your shield. I'm going to bring it all. There's no fear. After I came back from Ghana and had that malaria and Lyme's disease and came so close to death, I smelled death. I smelled transition. I won't say death like it's something, you know, but I was so close to it. I was so out of it. I was starting to get a little delirious, y'all. I was asking crazy questions. I asked Mr. Scurv, I'm sitting here in Orlando, Florida, in my bedroom in my house in Pine Hills, and I woke up one night. I said, "Sweetheart, are we still in Ghana, or are we in Orlando?" I was out of it. I told my wife, I said, "Sweetheart, you made brownies? Who's eating brownies in the bed?" It wasn't brownies, y'all. My bodily functions were shutting down. To see this, so many people don't understand. It wasn't like you just get a little fever and sit there and that's it. I was on my way out, but I know I wasn't on my way out. And I said to myself, and I'm not trying to even dramatize it to make it seem like something so fancy and a made-for-TV movie in the future and to dramatize it up. No, but I said to myself, you know what? When I come out of this, I'm going to go hard. When I come out of this, I'm going to not. It wasn't like I was soft before. But we're going to take it to a whole new level. I'm ready to go out on my shield right now with no fear. There's no fear. You're going to shoot me? You're going to kill me? We're going to die anyway. Martyr me. You understand? But I do believe I have a lot of work to do, and I do understand, and I know I have a lot of work to do, right? But I do know that I am protected on a divine level. And once you know that, you can't walk with fear. You know, it amazes me how many people, those of us who are churchified, oh, here he go again, talking about the church. Yes, I am, damn it, because the church has messed up so many of our warriors and turned them into little simps, weak men who I'm just waiting on the Lord. Well, you'll be waiting a long time. You're going to waste a whole lifetime waiting for someone to do for you what you can do for yourself. And let me tell you something. I don't mean to get nasty. Maybe I'm not even feeling like being so politically correct. You got a dick and balls full of testosterone, the hormone that makes you a man, the hormone that drives you and makes you aggressive. And you're going to turn, oh, I'm waiting on the Lord. No, I ain't waiting on nobody. When there's something I got to do, I got to do it. I'm not waiting on nobody. If there's some task that I have to complete as a man that's in front of me like a challenge, like, nah, I'm going to do you. That's just the way I am. Oh, he's making too many videos. You ought to see the rest of my life. Videos are the least of it. When we make moves and do what we do, I'm going to show you and make you think as far as I'm concerned. And this, I'm telling you, this is the way you got to be. I'm going to make you know that this brother's crazy. This brother has no fear. This brother said he's going to do this and he went ahead and did it. And I'm going to be like, yo, you talked all that mess about me. Now let's see what you about. It's your turn when the time comes. Whatever you're about, tell me and show me. I don't want to hear no talk and no YouTube comment section and this, and that. You ain't got no avatar. You don't even show your face. I don't even know nothing about you, but you're behind the keyboard like a little punk, just making comments, as some will do in this video. Yes, it always happens. Put a picture up of your face. Show me some. Well, I don't really have to do that. No, yes, you do. You're going to throw out words and hide behind the tree like a punk. I'm tired of those people who are like this, who won't even, if you stand for something, you stand for something all the way. All the way. Did a video the other day, military planes flying over my house. Y'all heard it. A couple months ago, Orange County Sheriff Department helicopter came right there, and I was right there by that door, and he came like right over the street, which was like 30 or 40 feet from the door. Then we have some yard, sidewalk, and curb. I say about 30 feet, and it was about maybe 30 feet up in the air. 30 feet, that's like right there. A big helicopter, and they stopped right there and just looked at me, two of them. And then about 10, 15 seconds, which is a long time. The noise was startling. I wasn't afraid, it was startling. You know, it's like, boo, and a nervous reaction, you jump. It doesn't mean you're scared. I'm looking, I'm like, man, what's up? What kind of message are you giving me? I'm looking right at him like, okay, we're going to sit here all day. I don't care how long you you hover right there. I don't care how long you hover. I'm home. I'm going to sit right here. One of y'all got to go to the bathroom eventually. I'm on my property. I'll sit there and look right at you and pull my pants down and do what I do. And you see the big vein in my, well, I'm a vegan. I don't have to strain. Be right there, wipe up with a leaf, and stand right there until you run out of fuel. What do you want me to do, run? I was in I was with Brother Kwaku earlier. We went to a very well-packed supermarket that has some really good things. I've never been there before. And after I left him and his beautiful wife, Mrs. Kwaku, I said, let me go back in there, because I was looking. We went in quick. He wanted to get something quick, but I said, I need to come up in this store and take my time and look. So I went in, took my time. I picked up a few things. And when I'm in there, I see some firemen in there. You know, they all go together and get some things, whatever have you. And they were all white, no problem. You know, that's not my curse. As I'm walking, I see one, and he's just saying, and I had the same exact stuff on, right? I just had some shorts, some shoes, whatever, and this top. I got this top from Ghana. You've seen it before. Oh, there's so much more I want to get when I get back over there and visit. So he's looking at me and trying to size me up on a spiritual level. He already had his eyes on me. I wasn't even paying no mind. But when I happened to glance at him, we locked eyes, and I already knew what he was thinking. Okay, it was a racial thing. It was a confidence thing. Like a lot of these men feel, black and white, but it's a white arrogance that some white men feel. Some, can I say all? Damn right. To different degrees. That I'm in the system, I'm white, I have my life set, and this is not the call that I'm waiting for, so I got to decline it, especially in the middle of a video. So he's looking at me, and he was eating something, and he really did not like me on sight. It was like, this guy's the enemy. I mean, the look, because I caught it as it is so raw. It wasn't like he had time to doctor it up or put a smile to it or look away or something like that. This guy was all in my face, and we were like, maybe, okay, I'm gonna let that ring, let him ring off. It wasn't like there was some eye contact or some kind of thing where he got anything from me. I'm walking innocent. He was just, it was like if he had a gun, he would have tried to show it or he had a problem with me, bottom line. And I'm used to that. Why? Because this is America spelled with 3 Ks. So I caught that. So I'm walking, and I looked at him, and I slowed down. I looked right at his feet. I looked back up at him. I stopped with the cart. I looked, he's looking, and I kept looking. He looked away because he didn't want his buddies to see that visual thing going on, that we were in each other's face, because I was going to stand right there. And if any one of the other ones that were there wanted to do it, we can all do it. We can all do it, because you know what? This is what I know. And this is what I know from when I worked in corrections. They had a couple incidents one time where we had to go into a cell. And when I say we, the other guy stopped at the door. I went in. I'm not saying I'm the bravest person in the world, but I'm very confident, even at my age. And this was many years ago. But I went in, and I broke up the 2 guys that were fighting, but there were a bunch of other guys trying to pile up on those guys. And when I saw the other guys by the door, I'm looking like, why didn't you come in? And later on, they tried to chastise me because it was like, oh, well, you don't do that. That's dangerous. I'm like, listen, you said we're going in and you stopped at the door and I was the one first and you let me stay in there. But nothing happened because I have that kind of respect. But after I broke the guys up, I didn't run out the door. I stayed in there. And I felt the safest place for me was right in the corner. And I mean, it's like a little concrete. It's all concrete, the walls there. But I backed into this corner. And so they asked me later on, they said, well, why would you back yourself into a corner? I said, that's the safest place. I said, why would you want to back yourself in the corner when you have 40 to 50 inmates in here who are looking to do something, they can do something, and we won't even see you? I said, well, you didn't even come in. I said, that was the safest place for me because I have more faith in my skills than you being near me or running out where you were and having to run past them, the masses of them, because most of them were between me and the door. So I went back to the corner and I got a lot of respect. Although I can't depend on it, I know that I had that kind of respect. So guess what? They were trying to ask me, well, what would you do if they came towards you? I'll make this short. I said, listen, if I was in the middle of the cell, the day room was an open day room, was big, not as big as this yard, but half the size of this yard. If I was in the middle and I'm trying to fight somebody or defend myself against somebody in front of me, guess what? Somebody's behind me. They can get me. They can bum rush me. If I'm sitting here with somebody here, they can get me to the left or to the right. What am I going to do, fight everybody? So if I back myself into the corner, I have 45 degrees that I have to concern myself with going out. And I back myself down in this corner. And now you can't come from behind me. You can't come. And now it filters down because if there are 40 people in that cell, in that day room from the various cells that were open, you all can't get in front of me. You have to funnel down to me. So what you gonna do? I got the wall behind me to brace myself on. You come, and it's only in a limited range of view. See? That's a lot of people to fight. You get tired. Maybe they could have shanked you or something like that. But you know what? That would be a lot better than me trying to run around them and fall down and get on the ground and they all jump on top of me. Everything, fortunately, worked out for the best, but they couldn't chastise me because to chastise me, you would have had to chastise yourself. And one was the supervisor. And I said, logically, tell me, why did you stop? So it never went into any kind of investigation. But I'm not gung-ho or think I'm Superman like that. But when it's time to roll and it's time to go, you have to do it. I don't care if you're 80 years old. There was a guy who was locked up in there who was 83 years old. He was a professional boxer when he was younger. And when he stopped doing professional boxing and other types of martial arts, he continued to keep himself in shape. Now, he was 80-something years old. You could tell for his age he was strong. He wasn't even bent over. He just moved around slow, whatever. He was locked up behind some guys, two guys trying to mug him. They stabbed him partially somewhere in his torso. He knocks another one out. He knocked one out. He knocked another one out, and the guy hit his head and died. And he gets locked up. Ain't that a damn? You see? Ain't that a damn? And this man, from what I remember, this was many years ago, he had several businesses. That's what made him a target. He was very active, still exercised, had several businesses, and was worth a lot of money. So to me, it was a thing where the state wanted to get money from him because, you know, he killed somebody. But listen, if you wasn't trying to mug somebody, let me tell you something. You come inside my house uninvited, I'm supposed to be scared of you. I don't care who you are. You come in there, you don't identify yourself as far as a police. I don't know. I'm not even going to give you a break even then. You know, what are you here for? Why are you bum? Because look, when you think about it, whether it's a house or an apartment and you're fast asleep, I don't care how much of an alarm system you have. Your door can be kicked in. You have sliding doors, they can be kicked in, and we can have a knife to your throat within 20 to 25 to 30 seconds, wherever you are. Because you can go outside of a house and say, that's kind of where I believe the living room is. And that little window there by, that's got to be the bathroom. And those have to be the bedrooms. You can tell. You already know. When you see a certain area or a certain home. And you can go if it's an apartment. If you know somebody in the apartment down below, you already know how it's laid out. So the other one upstairs is identical. You see, and we have these cookie cutter houses, but that's not even really what I wanted to talk about. The level of fatigue that I have right now, past due bill that needed to be paid on fatigue, which I am rested. I slept good last night, but my body said, hey, let's pay these past due bills. So I'm going to do that because that's going to build up my reserves even more. And it shows me that my reserves have been replenished and being rebuilt again. That being said, I wanted to speak about religion. I wanted to speak about religion. And I'm not even going to go in and bash Christians or bash Muslims or bash Buddhists and bash those who are into Judaism or whatever. But the whole overall concept of religion. And again, I'm like that caterpillar that went into the cocoon. I'm shaking off the cocoon because I want to fly high. I mean, it's a no-brainer for me, but I just want to break it down because we've had very interesting conversations, private conversations with different brothers and sisters over the phone. And tentatively, I wanted to have some live talk shows. I don't know if you can hear this joker behind me in the next yard, just running this edger. They always do this when they see the tripod out. They come out, and all of a sudden they want to cut the edge. But I know this microphone is not going to pick it up really, really big, but I don't understand it. Well, we know what that's all about. Because most people around here know the website and stuff. And the reason being is that my internet, the name of the internet, as it's the Wi-Fi, it's LanceScurvX.com. So if you see that, you're like, let me see, we go to, and then that's the guy who lives across the street. Okay, that's why you get the funny looks. I don't give a damn about y'all either. All right. Religion and reality. Religion. You see, with Brother Kwaku, even myself, when we speak about religion, we're not saying there's no God. And maybe we don't call it God because that word alone limits the creator. Right? I say the creator. I don't know what to call him. They say in the Bible that he has certain names and all these different things. And what I see people fighting over the name of God and fighting over this. And there's more separatism behind religion than there is unity. Because people get butt hurt if you don't follow their way, and everybody wants you to follow their way, and my way is the right way, and we have more hell in this world than ever before. We have all these different particular sects, and I don't mean S-E-X, I mean S-E-C-T-S, sects of Christianity. And I'm speaking on Christianity because in America, most of us black folks who are here, if it's not in Islam, it's definitely got to be Christianity. And many are butthurt behind it, many are confused behind it, many have been handed this to them from very young, and they roll along with it. But I'm not seeing no results as far as personal growth with these people. I'm really not. I do have some very close friends of mine who I truly respect them, and I would never come against them. And even they were like, listen, I'm not really with the church, man. This stuff is crazy. So even they, who I respect, who are in this, and not in the way of these people who profess this, and then the clowns like that, the ones who are tithing and raising hell Saturday night, but in Sunday morning they're there. You know who you are, right, man? I have tremendous respect for you. And if I had to be that, if I had to be a Christian, full throttle, it would be the way they do it. I'm saying this publicly, right? But it's not even about them being a Christian. It's about how they are, the higher standards that they have, because their standards are higher than anything Christian that I've ever seen. And it's because of that I respect them so much. And coming, I'm not saying they're coming out of it, but in elevating on a spiritual level through how they live and their deeds, and the vibration coming from them is phenomenal. So for me, I'm not going to smash what they have when I say the title Christian, right? But these other people out here who I've run across and come across, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And my thing is, look at the pastor. How can a mere pastor, let's take a pastor, let's just pick an age. Let's just say he's 60 years old. You're 60 years old. All those years, okay? I don't care if you're 1,000 years old. I'm trying to frame this in the proper context. That's what I'm trying to gather my thoughts here. How are you going to be 60 years old and explain and encompass all that we see in creation? How? And you're only 60 years old. Like I said, I don't care if you had 1,000 years pushing religion. It cannot encompass the vastness of creation. But we're so narrow-minded, we fall for this. Meaning, let me see if this is a text coming in, because it is a very, very, very important text that I'm waiting for. And I usually don't do this in the middle of a video, but I'm seriously waiting for a text that's going to make me a text or a call. I have somebody coming over and they're going to call me because I'm in the backyard, so I'm not going to hear them. They have to call me on the phone. So excuse me for that. But probably they'll be late and we'll do a 5-hour video right now, right? But how can you be a mere man and be the middleman to God? Let's call the Creator God right now. Let's call him that, right? Just to make it simple. Even if you were to know 1%, not even what, 1/100th of 1% of what our Creator knows, guess what? Your head would explode. It would be such a current going through the weak wire that we are as human beings with our limited perception that it would explode. How do you limit our God, our Creator, to just, well, I'm from this tribe and I'm this Hebrew Israelite and I'm this whatever, and I can prove it to you because in the Bible, there are great things in the Bible to learn from if you can decode it. I'll give you that much. But a book that has been, it's like, for those who celebrate Thanksgiving in America, and really none of you all who are black should be, it's a shame. I can't go nowhere near a supermarket going up on Thanksgiving because I see all these slothful, morbidly obese, oh yeah, I'm saying it today, black folks. Oh, we got no turkey? Oh, we're gonna have to get another one. Can't even turn around. I saw a dude so fat the other day in a supermarket, and it was like he was burping because I kept running into him. Then all of a sudden, you mean you stuffed your face that much that with every step you're burping up food and chewing it back down again? That was the closest thing to Jabba the Hutt that I ever saw in my life. Remember Star Wars, Jabba the Hutt? If you don't know, Google it. Jabba the Hutt. Jabba the Hutt. H-U-T. The dude was so morbidly obese, and it wasn't a health problem. This is something he did to himself. That somebody called him. Hey, Rallo, huh? Did you think that he turned his head and looked around? No, he did this. Huh? Couldn't even turn his neck. But Thanksgiving and religion, and we tie Thanksgiving, we're thanking God for being on a stolen land. We're thanking God for being captive. Know your history, y'all. But it's like religion is like the Thanksgiving leftovers in the Bible. Thanksgiving leftovers, you have so much food, you have it in the fridge, you have it out, you put it in the fridge. You go to the turkey and you bite into the turkey, you make a turkey sandwich out of it, you put things on it. And because the flavors were allowed to blend and meld longer, the Thanksgiving leftovers start tasting better than the day that you ate it on Thanksgiving, right? And with the Bible, from what I see, and this is my opinion, I'm not saying this is a fact, that it had so much time to be reconstructed and churned and embellished and all of this stuff now that it's made to fit our life in the modern day, that it's a sweet thing for us because it appears to always have an answer. And it does have things in it, again, that if we decode it, that are brilliant, that are, but I don't know. And this is the call I'm waiting for. I don't know if I'll edit this out. Yes, my brother.
Okay, I just heard from the roof. She should be there by 4.
By 4? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, no problem, brother.
I'm not sure I'll be able to make it because I still have another appointment I'm going to head to now, so I'll see if I can make it before.
Okay, yeah, no problem. No, 4 o'clock is fine. I'm in the backyard right now doing a video, but I'm going to come out there by 4 and make sure that's another 25 minutes and I'll be out there. So I just have to kind of wrap it down. All right?
All right.
All right.
Okay,
All right, my brother. Okay, take care. Bye-bye. So I got 24 more minutes to talk about this, and I really wanted 2 hours. I'm not going to edit it out. I'm not going to try to sound all perfect and whatnot. Nothing I said that was sensitive. Anyway, 4 o'clock appointment. I'll throw this in, churn it up, but let me just kind of, because I know how I can talk and let time fly by, so I want to be out there inside the house so I can hear the bell or be there to greet my company that's coming over and open the door for them. But that being said, now I have to shift the gear. Reality, creation is so vast that one man or men on one planet that's not even a speck of dust in an entire universe. An entire universe. You just got here. Countless trillions of years old. The universe is so big, okay? I just want to throw this at people, and you know it, but I just want to refresh. If you walk a mile, if you walk 2 miles, nah, that's not far. If I say walk 50 miles, you're like, that's too long, I need a car for that. We're talking about not just miles, we're talking light years. Light, if I can remember, in 1 second travels 186,000 miles per second. 186,000 miles per second. That's fast. That's 1 second. So can you walk the distance light travels in 1 second? No, you ain't doing it. Can you drive a car? The fastest car you could think about. Can you keep up with light? No. I can give you a rocket and you can't keep up with the speed of light. It's going to pass you so fast and you'll run out of fuel. 1 second, 186,000 miles, right? Now we have the situation where we hear about light years. 186,000 miles in 1 second. Now how about a minute? That's times 60. How about an hour, a day, a week, a light year? I don't have a calculator right now, and I didn't memorize all that stuff I learned back in elementary school, but you know where I'm going. That's damn far. That's far. A light year. So now, they can tell you that this particular star that they see is 250,000 light years away. Do you know how far that is? 250,000 light years away? How vast this thing is? And you got this jackleg preacher who you worshiping and bringing all your money, and you worshiping him like he is God, like he created all this stuff, and he don't know jack. You don't know. Nature is the ultimate religion because nature never fails. You learn so much from the creation about the creator. But this particular God, and I'm not saying there's no God, but I don't like to say God anymore because that's too confining a word. Somebody made all of this. And this joker who got here 60 years ago, who can't control his eating habits, who's jealous of some of the congregation because they have a little more than him and he feels they should be giving more money to him, and this church sister's mad because she didn't make it into the choir because she thinks she has a better voice, and all that has something to do with creation. Religion is small-minded. Religion doesn't encompass spirituality. It can't. It's too small. Like the play that they had years ago, your arms are too short to box with God. I like that concept. But religion is too small to conceptualize the creator. We're an insult to the creator with our little token man-made religions and hierarchies, and we push our chest up and I am Pastor so-and-so. Yes, feeling superior over the next person, and your mind you can't even wrap your mind around how vast this is. How could you even fall victim to that and get caught up in that? And have some mere man in a religion use a book that was just written a couple in eternity? When you talk about all the time that's ever been from creation, that book just got here. And by who? King James helped to, have a hand in translating it. And what was King James all about? Most people don't even know that. Dig into who King James really was. Now, King James was black, and King James, well, if King James was a a flaming homo who was married, hated his mother, and loved young boys over the one he was supposed to be married to, I'm not down with that. I don't care how black you are. Oh, I said black, melanated, copper tone, stolen African, victims of the worst recorded entry of human trafficking in history. We're screwed up. We got the whole world to embrace, but we're in a narrow little world. Narrow. How narrow is your world? I'm not saying that to anybody who's here, who's watching. I'm just saying, how narrow is your world? And isn't it funny how if we don't jump to the dictates of your world, now you want to say your way is the wrong way. I'm saying leave all of it alone. Leave it all alone, Mr. Scurv. Mr. Scurv, I'm going to leave this part in the video, but I'm making the video. I got the call, and 4 o'clock is the time. So I'm going to finish up what I'm saying, and I'm going to call you back at that time a little before, right? Okay. I'm not editing none of this out. This is life, right? By the time you see this video, that 4 o'clock would have been going, what's going on? What's he doing? Some very important things. So the older I get, and the more I see how vast this creation is, and that a force, an entity, and I don't mean entity like I use it usually as a diss. Someone so vast and so loving and so brilliant. Many people think that when Kwaku says about this God that doesn't exist, but the God inside of you, the God inside of you is connected to nature and is much more vast than a church house. It's just wordplay with most Christians, and they don't even understand what they're doing. They're limiting themselves. But let's call it God for a second, and let's question the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. Where's the woman? Where's the female force? We come out of a woman. They say Mother Earth. But why do we diss womanhood so much in Christianity? Why are they subjugated to being behind and being back and go to the back and it's the man, it's the man. I love my mother. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. And yes, my father plays an important role. I understand that. But this caveman mentality infused in religion, the European side of it that's infused in this religion, that we suck up because it was forced on us and we were born into it. So we think of the people who have had head trips all their life, and I'm checking the time, all their life, because they didn't fit into this limited thing called religion that somebody else decided what it was. I'm not saying become wanton and just go lay up with everybody. But there's so many of us that are so confused and hurting and wanting to be so pure that when the urge and desire for sex comes during the mating season, during the time when you just feel that, all of a sudden now you're condemning yourself. Oh, I'm not pure anymore. Oh, it's the devil trying to tempt me. Well, didn't the Creator give you those organs? Didn't he give you the hormones? Didn't he give you... So what? Look, is it sinful to want to eat some food? No. Is it sinful to want to go to sleep? No. Is it sinful to have a desire? Now, you're not going to want to go run around all over. I know that. We have to control that. Just the same way I'm not going to break out and go in every restaurant in Orlando, Florida, and up and down the East Coast and try to eat myself to death. You'll hit death faster when you try to have wanton sex, because there's a lot of little diseases out here. Not just the sexually transmitted diseases, but the spiritually transmitted demons. You'll come back all kind of infested ways. You better hope it's something that don't kill you. So you better show some restraint, because now other people, and that's another subject, we know that other people carry certain energies with them, and you're opening yourselves up to those energies when you lay down with them. We know that, or at least you should. But religion is too limited, y'all. And we try to fit ourselves into this, and we are much more vast than that. And when you come out of it, and you look, to me, this nature, man, y'all know what the yard looks like. I got my camera facing this way, but I have all of the garden and everything, all the beautiful trees and the sun and everything. And if my meeting goes fast today, I'll come back out here again. I got to put on long pants because these little gnats are trying to chew me up like the Golden Corral. All you can eat. We have to think beyond the restraints of these mere religions. If let's just say, you say Jesus is coming back And it's been 2,000 years. And they say in 2,000 years, okay, let's say that that's going to happen. How many people have been waiting for that? And when they say in the beginning, which I heard they say through biblical terms 6,000 years ago. So wait a second. The black man and woman were here for millions of years. We are the original of the planet, okay? There's no doubting that. So if you are Asian, if you're Caucasian, if you're Indian, Native American, whatever, you're just gonna have to be mad. Whatever race or nationality you grab onto, whatever concoction, biracial, whatever, the black man, the African, yes, Africa. And the planet is African. Because the original had it first and they went all over the planet. Simple. I know I'm gonna get some comments for that, and I don't give a damn. If you go on to write a book, I might just delete the bad boy. And I'm saying it. I have no time to argue. I love intelligent conversation. You don't have to agree with me. But when you come out and, oh, I need to get this video 1,000 thumbs down because you as vast as you say the world is, if you don't go to Little Rock, Arkansas, Little Widows Mite Church of the Widowed Baptist Mama, whatever. So you mean, as vast as this world is, unless I come through your little portal of toxic brick and mortar church foolishness and gossip, that I'm not going to make it. There are people in the world here who will never hear that so-called word. But they know when the sun's going to come up. They know when the harvest is going to come after they plant. They're working along with nature. 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 Look around you. Look. Go to any church, y'all, because I have to go. And I'm going to come back with this. I wish it was early in the day so I can come back and I might have my day taken up and the sun will be down, but go to any church. Pick one. Just let's go to that one. Let's go to this one. Sit in there for the whole service. Even stay around in the parking lot and talk to some of the members. And then the next week, same time, provided the weather is good, go out in nature and be still. Leave your cell phone. Leave your timepieces. Leave everything that connects you to the outside world, and also put on something plain. It could be sweats, it could be a t-shirt and shorts, or some long type of sweats, sneakers, whatever. Something that you don't usually wear to keep yourself out of yourself. And sit out there in nature for a while and observe what goes on around you. Watch the ants, how they work together. Look at the trees, look at the so-called bugs that are flying around. Everything has a purpose, everything is in order. And you tell me how you feel. You're gonna feel a lot better than when you went to that church service, which is really a proposed spiritual hospital for sick people. And when you go in there, you're going to see that person who has a gambling problem. And you might have one. So who do you think you're going to gravitate toward? You might see that person who has a gossiping issue because they tear people down with their tongue. And even they say the power of life and death is in the tongue. They might gravitate towards you because they see that same thing in you, right? Now, check this out. You see that woman who got a little freakishness in her. I don't mean the normal, whatever, just out of control. And you got a little bit of that in you. And you bump into her on the way out, and you start talking to this church sister. In another hour, all the people went home, and you in the parking lot in the back seat in the church doing what you got to do. That has happened. Can't tell you who it was, but it happened. I know. I've experienced just about everything in this world, except the drugs and the crime and whatever. But on them levels, you ain't fooling me, okay? So, try to broaden your horizons. Try to broaden your thought. Do what you do from where you are. I can't tell you just to be like me. I'm not telling you that. I'm just saying, you know, we're in a vast world, in a vast existence, and we are all interconnected. We can feel each other. Work along with nature. The practices in church often lead you to go against that. And who do you think is going to win at the end of the day? Come out of mental slavery, y'all. Let's really connect on a spiritual level. Let's just grow. Shed that old cocoon and realize that you're not the caterpillar and you are the butterfly. Why are you hanging on to the cocoon? I don't see no butterfly trying to get it and one wing flapping and he's holding on to the cocoon. I don't see that. Let it go. Because to successfully transition out of this world, you're going to have to let go of everything that has no value to you. Wisdom is the only thing, and spiritual depth and growth is the thing that I feel that will put you in a better position, because that will elevate you to make your transition better. Because the little 70, 80, 90, 100 years, if you live to 1,000 years, when you compare it to infinity, when you compare it to that foreverness, that this is just a pit stop to eternity. This life, yes, it's a test. It's a grooming period. We are supposed to conquer our flesh. And once we conquer our flesh, we're ready to elevate. That's something that I don't believe, but it's something I know. LanceScurv out. I love you all. To my sisters, I love you all. I know the struggle is hard out here and things can be rough, but you have my good energies. To my warrior brothers, I salute you. Keep up the good work, and let's try to wake as many people up as we possibly can before we transition, because that is our work to do. And as I end this video, as always, there's that plane flying around. Those planes just love me, don't they? Anyway, regardless, I don't care who it is in my midst, I'm never going to stop talking, because right now, Lance Scurv, Brother Kwaku, Mr. Scurv, we're all on a serious mission. Peace out, y'all. On to the next one.
Make sure to check out the boldest blog at LanceScurv.com and follow Scurv on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube under LanceScurv.